Ready?
Wait, your battery's low.
I'll go quickly. Over the course of my life, I've been blessed with a very close relative who is a wonderful role model to me, and she's taught me many of the most basic building blocks of life. But despite my experience with this role model, I use the following sources to help me with my speech. I use an interview with my mother, Eileen Scott. I use quotationspage.com, worldatlas.com, John F. Kennedy, the inaugural address from John F. Kennedy, and Gone to America, historyplace.com. Tonight I want to just preview three main perspectives of my grandmother, the obstacles that she has overcome, her pure and unselfish motives, and also I want to show her benefit to society as a whole. According to Eleanor Roosevelt, people grow through experience if they meet life honestly and courageously. This is how character is built, and that's from quotationspage.com. My grandmother's been faced with many obstacles in her 84 years of life. She's had to raise a family of women and just try to instill personal values into them. And she's also had to continue on after the death of a husband. My grandmother raised 6 kids, and she had to instill good morals and values in them, but she also had to overcome the unfortunate death of a boy who died at a very young age from a disease that they couldn't cure at the time. Also, she was the daughter of 2 Irish immigrants during a time when it was hard on immigrants to establish themselves. Laws weren't very good. It was really hard to find good housing. They couldn't find jobs. She also had to overcome the death of her husband. It was a very traumatic brain injury, and she could not get him to the hospital at the time. It's a rare thing in today's society when people come across an individual who does things out of the kindness of their heart, and they do not expect anything in return, and the act of kindness is not used to guilt others into helping. My grandmother, since I've been able to remember, she has always been very tender-hearted, who cares more about her grandchildren and her children than she did about herself. For example, she recently gave my cousin a car when she turned 16 in order to help relieve some of the financial burden on my aunt and uncle at that time. She has also given my cousins and I quite substantial gifts upon graduation from high school in order to help us better prepare for college, as far as paying bills and being able to buy books and pay tuition and things like that. And recently she has just paid for my Aggie ring in order to help me out of jam because, quite honestly, I couldn't afford it. In John F. Kennedy's inaugural address, he spoke perhaps one of the most famous quotes to have ever been uttered in American rhetoric. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." My grandmother, in her daily routine, she's made an important impact on society as a whole by being herself and giving of her time. My grandmother, Nanny, she has volunteered at the hospital for 10 plus years, and that's an interview from my mom because I cannot remember how long she's been working there. She's also donated both clothes, time, and effort at a local clothing shelter for the less fortunate, and she has also instilled good values and morals into her grandchildren and children in order to help us be more productive members of society. My grandmother, over the course of her life, has overcome many obstacles. She's been pure and unselfish in her motives, and she has also been a very good benefit to society. She has also taught me that in order to be successful in life, I need to be pure and unselfish, and I need to have all these qualities that she has, whether or not she knows that she has them. She also always wants us to be somebody in life and not just be a number, because we have one shot in this life and we should make it count. I look up to my grandmother and respect her for all those qualities. My grandmother has truly been a blessing on myself and my family. Because of her, we will always hold basic principles near and dear to our heart. And it was because of it was a love of hers to act in this way. And to truly honor her both now and in the future, it's essential that my family and I continue to live in such a way that would be pleasing to her. Thank you.
Yeah.